about Hackalong. So what is Hackalong? So, well, the root starts from hack alone, no, hackathon, right? So let's test a little bit this, if everybody can use Jitsi. And there is a button on the left, bottom left of your screen that is raising your hand. And just to check if everything works, just raise your hand if you have participated to a hackathon. You can raise it on Jitsi as well, yeah? So I want to use that, I want to see that people raise their hand on Jitsi, because if you have a question while I'm talking, you just put your hands up, and then I will be able to, well, if I'm not in the flow, I just pick one person with their hands up, and we can have it as a sort of a conversation rather than a 20 minutes monologue, which is fine, but you know, it's good to catch a breath now and then. Okay, so we have enough people that are that have participated in the hackathon, and the hackathon, it's a, would you say it's a competitive endeavor? Well, yes. Well, usually there is a prize at the end of the hackathon, and who's putting up this prize are sponsors, and sponsors are there for a reason or another. But the whole idea is like, let's gather a lot of people, and it's a beautiful event where there is a lot of co-creation, there is a lot of new friendship, a lot of ideas being shared. So it's a great event. But then you're there in about, you know, from 20 to 200 to 2,000 people, and you're there basically not sleeping. And what you do, maybe you bring in a team with you, or you find a team at the location. And what happens then is that you really start cracking the code. You find some projects or some ideas that you really believe in. Then you really start to code, and you don't sleep, and you get you use Red Bulls and whatever's, and it's very intense moment, right? And you really believe you can do something. Such a beautiful moment. So do something so in such a short amount of time. Everything is possible. But then at the end it comes the jury, and the jury has a kind of like a schedule, maybe a canvas that they need to fill in, and they ask you what is, you know, like they're evaluating your project, and unfortunately only one or a few projects would just make it through, and they get their prize, maybe they get back their tickets or their expenses that they did, but in the end, you are, for the rest of the teams, the ones that were very excited, you are left out like you didn't sleep, you are left out poorer because you had to travel there, and there is nice food sometimes, but definitely what happens, and is the worst thing, some people might get demoralized. That is the idea, the amazing idea that you had end up being discarded just because it's not being recognized by the jury. Maybe it was not ready. Maybe you couldn't achieve it in 2-3 days. But it doesn't matter. The demoralization is something that is really there, and we thought like, why is this happening? Why is it that we need to compete and we need to try to get a prize, and then all of this beautiful concept might just die off? So the idea then came and say, okay, maybe we can do something different, and that we started 1 year ago at Odyssey, where we say, hey, what if the teams actually are doing their own tracks and their own thing, but if we have this kind of idea that we are all together, so use a sort of like collaborative endeavor within a competitive endeavor. So what is a collaborative endeavor is like, well, let's share resources, let's share knowledge, let's share attention, let's share tools, and we all are going to do our projects, obviously, but we always have a little bit of on the side. We know what the others are doing, and if there is some request or some resources that you can share, then everybody's going to help out into refining the pitches or refining the ideas, showcasing the tools. So in a way, is a coexistence of a collaborative endeavor in a competitive environment. Now, do you know any other competitive environments? I mean, if you think about it, well, society is as such as is a competitive environment. It's something that has been rooted into scarcity, and so, like in a hackathon, life, it's really about securing your own spot into the rat race that is life. So, if you think, let's go back to the hackathons and just say, how do we do this? How can we share? How can we collaborate? So what we can do now, I can tell you something about a concept that we call a team of teams, in which some people say, okay, let's form a team together. Maybe you find like the same ideology, so you just maybe the team doesn't have to limit to the size of the team that the hackathon is forcing you to. You can actually have a team of 100 people, which is then represented by on the hackathon by 3 or 4 people. These other people are your collaborators. The thing is, maybe this collaborator cannot help you out in this moment, or the other one is busy, and the cat died. So how do you split the price? We just imagine that you all enter a social contract that says, hey, if I can contribute to you, just give me kudos. And if you give kudos, then potentially we get a part of the revenues or that comes from the projects or from the price. So now you see all of these team members to just gather around in a sort of a DAO, where the agreement is by the end of the hackathon, we're going to give kudos to each other, and that we define that as the splitting function. So what happens here is that if you were not able for some reason or another to contribute, but you did contribute it in the past, maybe you still get some kudos because maybe you had the idea, but then you couldn't come to the hackathon. But if you just said, I'm going to come, and then, I don't know, just walked off the venue and never seen again, you get no kudos at all. So the most fundamental part here is that you're not allowed to give yourself kudos. You can only give to others. So that creates some sort of like a social environment, which, say, attribution or appreciation is now signaled. The nice thing is that this structure that we just made a smart contract for can get a layer higher. That means that we now can consider entire teams as a single structure. So you have like a team of teams. And then, being the teams, the participants, the teams can say which other project do they give kudos to. That is, which other project they think they're relevant, either for the community or for the greater good. By doing that, you actually get rid of the jury members, or better, you still have the jury member at the hackathons that are going to declare one collaborative team a winner over the other. But on the other side, you have an entire flow structure, value flow structure, that allows both the members to highlight who contributed the most, and allows the team to highlight which project is the most contributing towards society. So we get away from having the sponsorship or the money or the business models behind the ideas to be the key factor of selecting a winner in the collaborative space. So every team, as they describe as a team of team, can also say like, okay, if we win a prize, we're going to socialize part of it. So maybe 20% of the prize goes back to the team. It gets split with the best projects, which is not our own. So you see how you can actually have two two kind of world coexist at the same location. Another thing that we should think about is like we only talk about a local hackathon right now, but how does that look when we expand the concept to a global hackathon? So the moment in which you go from a team collaborating to win a prize to a moment in which the prize is actually the co-creation of the best solutions. And there is no judge, only the teams that are participating in the Hackalong are going to be able to vote for or give kudos to the best projects that are being submitted. Well, let's have a check if you're still with me. I see 2 hands up. I don't know if you're still up from the previous 3 hands up. Okay, no. So if anybody wants to do a question right now, maybe you can go.
I think Manu wants to talk. He raised his hand again.
Manu, yeah.
Yeah, so my question would be, how do you, let's say, how do you create a correlation between the tokens that you're receiving, the token of appreciation that you're receiving, and how do you measure it with money? Like how, because one of the things that I've seen that Common Stack is doing is that they're giving praise, right? For example, they're giving praise, they're giving this dish, and then at the end of the month, there's some kind of monetary valuation. Is that something that you're proposing?
What the kudos do, if you want to call it kudos or appreciation, is that they highlight the flow. So there is no conversion. They are sort of a weight function, right? So the one that received the most kudos is going to get a higher stake of whatever flows into it, right? In terms of the smart contract. Being like a team Ethereum address, you can just simply stack them up. So whatever comes from the top, it just flows according to the kudos structure all the way down to the bottom of the users that are or the ones that are actually contributing. And another interesting thing is that if you are part of a team and another team and you're contributing to both, you might actually receive values from 2 streams. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, but there's no direct link to the amount of kudos and money that you're going to receive, right? It all depends on the amount of kudos that have been distributed in general, right?
So you have, say you have 100 kudos and you need to, that will be 100%, and you say, well, I'll give you 20%, I give you 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and for the rest, right? It doesn't matter. It's just really a way to say thank you. In a way, a little bit like the price system, the price system. But we have actually now, first of all, as you participating, you do have that opportunity to mint it yourself. You have 100 available, right? So whenever the event, before the end is over, so where there is a deadline, that's the moment in which you say, okay, whatever kudos have been distributed, even if you didn't vote, they're just not counted. If you did vote, they are counted. So you just count the amount of kudos that people have given to each other as the total amount, and then everything kind of normalizes there. Of course, you can do it in different ways. Yeah.
I was just saying, think of it like dot voting. So it's all distribution.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no kudos, right?
Sorry?
So there's no currency to kudos. It just
absolutely not. And you cannot assign kudos to yourself. Okay. That's too easy, right? It's something. It's like you cannot praise yourself like, oh, I did everything, and I assign 100 kudos to myself. That's not allowed. It's just you can only give it to the team members, and if you're like at the team layer, you can only give it to other teams. So it's really about creating this flow. Then whatever comes in, that could be the price of this hackathon. But if this is a project that is actually an open source project that is monetizing with support or selling commercial license if they apply for it, that all can come also from the top. So this thing is really like this payment structure that allows the people that actually did the thing to get the value directly without having to pass through a gatekeeper or somebody that receive the price and then maybe keeps it and maybe decides who to give it to. You know, like this is like very sort of a social structure that emerges automatically. But anyway, this is an idea that we're having. Of course, you can use different weighting functions. For instance, you can have a five-star system in which you just give stars to people and then use that as a weighting. So we're not saying this is it. This is just our interpretation or our creation of a tool that allows people to collaborate and share whatever returns there is from that collaboration. Of course, you can share it all for the people that are created, but you can also, we suggest to share it on a three parts. One part is for the people that created it, and one part is for the local community, so the teams that are participating into the same event, so the ones that are closely collaborating, and the other part to share it with the entire network. So you can have like three different kind of like social wallets or social layers that you can use to have the value flow. But now, just so, because I think we're also running late, let's think about it when we actually take out the competitive endeavors and we only go to the collaborative endeavors. So what are we going to do in an hackalong when there is no competition? And the idea is like, what if we meet into a place and we just spend time and we just develop all these kind of projects and we just keep doing it continuously? So as there is no date, nobody that sets the date, we can, for instance, use the moon or the lunar cycle as the day of the beginning and the end of the hackathon or the hackalong. And then know that there are multiple teams around the world that are following the same progress bar. The progress bar that's in the sky, right? You just look up and say, oh, okay, I see that everyone is now at the full moon. And we have an idea of using this in 4 phases, in which in the first phase, you just see who the people that are working with are, and you just have conversations. From that point on, the conversation turns into topics and themes, and you start to, you know, have ideas. Hey, maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do that. Hack a little there. Hack a little there. And then at the full moon, you basically have kind of like set your mind and started already. You found your crew, and you start really getting down and hacking whatever solution did you really inspire you. And note here that there is no track sponsor that is telling you what to do. You choose what to do, and you choose who to do it with, whoever you resonated with, and you have all the time to get to know that person. And after that, you have the moment of showcase. So you tell everybody what you're doing, and then you have the moment again of convergence, in which you can see how the project 1 relates to project 2, and maybe you want to bring them together, and there is time assigned for that. And there's time assigned all the way to the end where you're harmonizing. That's the harmonization phase. Everything that everybody did, maybe you write some Medium post and or release it, make a package that is actually releasable and usable, rather than like in the normal hackathons to just drop it there and just get lost forever. So then that's the end of a cycle, and a new cycle begins. So now, from the learning of that experience, you can choose again what to do and where to do, what to do next. So they're pretty much like sprints, but now they're not dictated by a product owner, but just simply a physical event, which is the lunar cycle. And we personally really like this because you can't move the deadline, or it just keeps you on in that track. Okay, it's at 20 now, so maybe I don't know if you have more time, or the next speaker is immediately afterward.
Yeah, you still have 10
more
minutes.
Great. Okay, so if you want to ask the questions, please interrupt me. Some of the projects that are that we're working on. So the projects. So we're running this. Okay, I missed one part: the spaces. So we need places in the world where this is possible, where people can actually say, "Hey, I can stay a month here, and I don't have to worry about paying rent or paying an hotel room, and I can just focus on my intrinsic motivation." So I think that this is what the world needs, and I want to co-create this with people, and I want to go into local places where this is happening. So that's why we're kind of like gathering hubs, we call them, which are kind of aligned with this mindset of co-creation, and just say the people are welcome to stay here for practically free. We will have to find some potentially the place could be part of the team, so that if the projects are successful, there is something flowing back also to the space provisioners. But we are now having, we had found quite some spaces that are aligned with our mindset, even one in Costa Rica with 150 places for doing this.
On the volcano.
Under a volcano, yeah. So this is pretty crazy, and I think it's a different way of looking at society and looking at jobs and looking at contribution, and it's a completely different model, which doesn't start from the profit and from like this kind of like scarcity mindset. Now we have places where you can enter and have experience abundance, and from that point on co-create to the best of your possibilities with the best co-creators that you find around you, that you vibe the most with. So we're really excited to actually do these kind of things, and it's been a blast so far. Actually, Interspace has come out of one of the previous hackalongs that was in October with Kai. Is this Kai here? No. Oh yeah, Kai's here.
Well, the camera is there. Along with Sam, who popped in.
Also here. So yeah, this is like one of the example of like a project that it's good for. It's just needed for the community, and now has been evolved also by Kai and the community, and it's lovely to see it to go so fast. Yeah. So if you have questions about all these things or a comment on the crazy things that we're trying to do here.
Okay, I don't have any questions, but it's awesome. I love it.
Thanks. You should come. Yeah, you should. By the way, we're doing it every month now.
Okay, we could do a MetaFem hackalong there. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
What is it look?
We'd love to have
Roberto?
So Roberto, go ahead, man.
Question.
Is it located, Roberto?
Right now in the red zone. We're in Italy, in the center of Italy, and so it's great to have this. Actually, Interspace was really about also having people participate remotely to something that was happening locally. So we're located in Italy, but there are hubs. We're getting hubs through Europe, Barcelona, Berlin. And these are all independent. It's not us, right? It's really about people donating their space for this purpose.
Amazing.
Each membrane has its own identity.
Yeah. We don't have to.
So the code you've been working on, just to get a plug, where can people find that? Or when will they be able to find that? And how will they be able to find that code? should they want to hack along?
Yeah, so we have a website. What is not, so it's just like a forum where people upload their projects, and the Team of Teams is one of the projects. There is Abundance Protocol that is really awesome. I'm a bit biased on that, but as a design for a potential operating system for the planet. But what I can do now, because this is very fresh and I'm following the pattern of share early instead of share late, like trying to hide and getting everything ready. Now just put it out there. So the code is not available. It's just on my laptop at this moment. But I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna put down a post on the Hackalong forum. You can find it just typing hackalong.io. And there you could find the links to the Telegram group and also a handbook where we collected a few patterns that we tested into the for living together and for co-creating together, something that works. So we're not telling people what to do. We're just saying, hey, we tried to do this and that didn't work because of this reason. We tried this and that. Actually, it seems pretty good pattern for you to pick up. But nobody's telling, oh, if you don't do this, you're not hacking along. Anything goes, right? As long as you have this collaborative endeavor.
Exile.
Yeah, you've changed. Your microphone was unmuted, broski.
Yeah, different machines, different names, log in multiple times across things. Hey guys.
Roberto, can you also tell us can we find information about the different hubs?
We're also setting that up right now. You can check liminalvillage.com. That's this hub. And the other one I mentioned is called Rat Park in Costa Rica.
Village, you said?
Liminal Village. Liminal, yeah.
Liminal Village.
.com. And you can find some information there also about Hackalong. So we put like a page there. And the forum actually would link you to the Hackalong forum. That's where we kind of list the patterns, discuss about them, list the projects. So everything is early stage, but it's always early stage. Everything is always the best of what it could be. The current best, yeah. So, yeah, what else? Any other questions? Okay, then I guess I stand again the invitation whenever this coronavirus. Oh yeah, maybe we could hack along something regarding corona together. So if you think of a device that could help people breathe or protect people from the virus, that is open source and people can do at home, that is one of the kind of things that we really want people to co-create something that is just useful for everyone and try to be as cheap as possible so that everybody can get access to. One minute to the next speaker.
1 minute left, or
yeah, if you can, if you have a question, I hope.
Yeah, I guess my question might be better in an individual conversation with you, because looking to take this original implementation of InterSpace up through its iterations, and looking forward to doing this at non-con, and then doing this in Ethereum. And so I've been in multiple conversations with Ken from the EF, and also with Scott from Gitcoin and Andrew from ETH Global, and sort of trying to put together sort of a core group of people that are all working towards a longer term solution. And Kai and I are talking about how it is that we package this into a deployment pipeline that makes it like, one click easy, or, seven things easy to actually host this. Do you have some time to talk to me about that as the original inceptor of Innerspace together with Kai?
Yeah, well, it's co-creation, but it's not original. But definitely, I like to discuss anywhere that you can get tools in the hands of people to use them. So absolutely, we can immediately, even tomorrow, if you like. So today.
Yeah, it would be really great sometime soon, because it's like really moving fast, since now InterCon is happening now today. We're doing non-con with the next iteration that we want to learn from. And Matteo and I are talking about implementing.
Yeah, you can get, also Kai can maybe put us in touch.
What's the best venue for you to talk?
Yeah, Telegram is great.
Okay, cool. All right. And that you're on Telegram, your something, let us, what is it?
Hackalong. I put my handle in the chat, and you can use that.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
For everybody to see the Liminal Village, I'm gonna just type it here just in case. And Hackalong. Oh, there you go.
Okay, that is your Telegram?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll be in touch.
Great.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks guys for participating at this talk. Yeah, have the best for the next ones.
Really cool seeing this like iterate up and gain traction, isn't it? It's cool.
Yeah.
Kai's a hell of a cat herder.
All right, guys.